Welcome to the Life Podcast with BFR, a space where we celebrate life, support families, and inspire our community to thrive. In today's episode, we continue to discuss our parenting education program with Arleen Estevez, our BFR Academy bilingual facilitator and new mom coordinator.
Good morning, y'all. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Tess. How are you?
I'm good this morning, I think.
Yeah. We both walked in a little
frazzled
this morning, but we determined that we're going to pull ourselves together and have a great episode today.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it.
And I'm excited that at the time of us recording this, that we have second spring upon us. We're in the 60s and 70s this week, and I'm very excited about that. I don't know about anybody else.
Oh, are you kidding? Do you remember the first episode where I told you how much I love the sun?
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we're
excited.
We're pumped,
Vitamin
right?
D.
Woo.
Yeah. Well, we are super excited this morning, as we said, to bring to you our sweet Arleen and continue to discuss our parenting education program. So without further ado, I want to introduce sweet Arleen. Good morning, Arleen.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that you're here. You are like one of my favorite persons in the whole wide world. You are so full of joy. But before I just dive into explaining all the things I think about you, why don't you actually share briefly with us about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I come from Dominican Republic, and I have been married almost 25 years with the love of my life. We have 4 children, and they are ages from 20 to 9, all in between. And we have lots of fun as a family. Never a boring moment at our family.
That is something that I love about you, is that you do have so much fun and you just radiate so much joy in life, and it's contagious for sure. I mean, yes, it is.
Do you wake up a single day without joy?
Yes. I don't talk.
I need to see that day.
When I wake up, I don't talk at all.
Really?
You store that up.
Yeah.
So what talk to me about that, because I think I might need some mentoring in that area.
Me too.
I cannot talk. Like, I'm still not awake because I'm a night owl.
Oh.
So, my energy comes as the day goes up.
Okay.
But in the morning, I'm just quiet. Manny is the one that, get us going in the morning. I'm another child at home. He's like, I cannot believe it. You need to wake up.
Are you a coffee drinker, Arleen?
No,
No.
No.
Okay.
No, if I drink coffee, then I will be like
Energizer Bunny.
Yes.
So, Arleen, can you share with us a little bit about what brought you to BFR, and then also in that, what exactly is your role at BFR? I know we introduced that long title. I always get tongue-tied when I'm giving a tour or talking to somebody about your official title. I probably never get it exactly right. So tell us, though, about, because that's a full title. There's a lot packed into that title, but tell us about what you do. But first and foremost, what actually brought you to BFR?
Okay, so I love to serve, and I was praying and asking God, how can I serve my community? So I went to church and meet with one of our pastors, and I asked him, like, what is a way that I can serve here at church or to one of our community partners? And he said, well, let's pray. And, we have a conversation and we have tea and everything. And a few weeks later, he contacted me and he said, there is this organization that we love and we support, and it's called Bartow Family Resources. Will you pray about coming and visiting them and, learning what they do and serving the Hispanic community, because they are in need for people that speak Spanish. And I pray with my husband and I fall in love with the institution right away. So I started volunteering. I volunteered for almost 2 years. And then I became part of the staff last year in April.
Oh,
Love
so amazing. I love that. I don't know that I've heard you, excuse me, say that, the full kind of full story before. I've heard like little pieces, but I love hearing that and your obedience of like, hey, I have this heart to serve. Now, what am I going to do with that? And you stepped into that. And just a little history with BFR. We've been serving Spanish speaking clients for, almost since we started, really probably, but really so in the last 12 years, 13 years ago. And the need for Spanish speaking volunteers was huge for us. And we started with one, we grew that, we had a couple more. And of course, volunteers ebbs and flows, but our heart was to have a staff person. I mean, almost immediately we wanted we wanted to be able to hire somebody who spoke Spanish so that we could, we're so relational and intentional in our organization, which is one of the things I love. And we realize we can't be as intentional if we don't speak the same language. And and so God finally answered our prayers last year to be able to hire a Spanish speaking staff person. And my goodness, did he deliver with you?
Oh,
absolutely.
glory to God. It's a joy for me. I still cannot believe it. Like when I go home from work, I'm like, I cannot believe it that I work here, that I get to do
Yeah.
what I do, because it's really a privilege to serve God and to see Him at work in people's lives is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
So talk to us a little bit more about your role specifically.
Yes. So I'm the bilingual facilitator at BFR, like we said, and I serve the Hispanic communities or let's say Spanish speaking clients from BFR, because we have people from Europe that speak Spanish that have joined us. And I serve the new mom with the new mom program. So I facilitate the group classes, the mentoring, one-on-one group settings, everything in between with our community. And our community feels so welcome every time that they come, even though they don't know the language, but they feel love. And love does not have a language. It's a universal language.
Yeah.
So it is so good to see when they write notes to us or when we do surveys to read how they feel when they come. They feel accepted. They feel that we care for them. And imagine a person that start all over again in their life, and they have fears, and they have they're hopeless sometimes, and they come to an organization where they can have support and they can get plugged into the community, and they don't have the language barrier because they have people that speak their language. That is huge for us. And I feel so happy that we get to do that for the Spanish speaking community.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Tell us a little bit more about what the New Mom program is, because not many people in our community, they hear us talk about BFR Academy and our parenting education program, but they really may not be familiar at all with our New Mom program and how that actually works and how we serve those moms.
Yes, well, you know that to be part of BFR Academy, you have to stay in the program and come to your appointments every week or every other week, depending on the type of client that you are. And you have to commit to watch those classes, because they are the main part of our program. We are an educational program. But what happened to the moms when they are about to have their babies? They start thinking like, do I have to come? I don't feel like going out with a small baby and going to a group class or exposing my baby to people. What can I do? So this is a beautiful program. We offer the moms the option to stay at home with their babies, adjust to that new schedule, new routine, rest, bond with their babies, well, they can watch the classes from home. And then they get to come and without needing an appointment, they come to our center and get items for their babies every week. And we explain that I have an encounter with each mom on their last trimester just to check on them, know how they're doing. Sometimes it's the first time that I see those moms because it's not only with the Spanish speaking moms that I meet with all our clients that are on their last trimester. And sometimes their significant other comes with them. So we have lots of fun. Like sometimes last week I have a couple that they came with a best friend and it was their lunch break. So they brought food and it was like a conversation over the table, just talking about how are you guys doing? It's their first baby. And they were so excited and so full of joy. But at the same time, they have lots of questions and we got to answer them and connect them with community partners. And it was such a joyful encounter that I had with that last trimester mom. And it's beautiful because then after that, they keep coming because it's the last trimester. They keep coming to their appointments and they see us and they know, oh, Arleen, I have your phone number. I give them the phone number where they can text us when the baby arrives because we want to celebrate with them.
Absolutely.
And we do celebrate every time that a baby is born and we share those pictures and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. And then every week I check on them. How are you doing? What do you need? How can I pray for you? And it's so beautiful. And they feel that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not a mom, but I have been around moms my whole life. And there's lots of babies in my family. So I have seen this a lot. And that postpartum time is so hard. And you guys can speak to that much better than I could. But I think that's a common thread that we hear with moms who are in postpartum of how alone they feel sometimes, or because hormones are going crazy. They just had a baby. They're still trying to heal, and that feeling of alone and just not sure what to do with all those emotions and everything. And so the fact that you're calling them, you're texting them, and you're making sure that they know that they have a support system, and that's just it's incredible.
It is.
And, that program was really birthed. It's been a number of years now, but we really recognized there was a drop off with our clients, sometimes in the last trimester, but especially after they had their baby. And this was really kind of in response to that, because we were like, why is that? What's the disconnect? What's something that maybe we need to be doing a little bit better or be more intentional with? And so this program was kind of birthed out of us recognizing that issue, and trying to solve that. And that's one of the big things was like, it's hard to get back out when you have a baby, and so, and to still feel connected to the program, to the support. And so this is just a way that we were able to kind of fill that gap, if you will. And I think it speaks to our heart and our vision at BFR that, last podcast, we sat down with Danielle, our director of our program, and really talked about that every family has value and should be supported and educated in our community. And and one of the things that she really honed in on was that relational aspect. That our clients, they're not just a number. They're not just another ticket, or they're not just passing through a pantry. Like, we care about them. We want to know them. We want to see them.
Invest in them.
We want to celebrate in their joys, like you just said, with their babies, but also the low moments when they're struggling and they need that person to come alongside them. And so we'll share your thoughts into that too, of just that idea that every family has value in our community.
Well, throughout the whole Bible, we see how God cares for every life. And I was studying the book of Numbers this week, and the book of Numbers start with a lot of names names, genealogies. And you might think why they are included in the Bible. All those names of people, and this is this family, and this is this clan. And it's because we matter to God. He's saying his word, I have called you by name. You are mine. And when I sit down with a mom that is on their last trimester, or when I facilitate a class, I make sure, and I know that our mentors also do that, we make sure that we are intentional about reminding our clients that God have a purpose for them, and that God created them to live that purpose. And until we don't understand that, we will have like a void. We will be like without a purpose. But when we understand that God have a purpose for our lives, oh, the joy.
It changes everything.
It changes. Yes. It changes our perspective, the way that we use our time, the way that our conversations go, or the things that we invest our time with. You know what I mean? Like, it's so beautiful. So we are really intentional about reminding our clients, you are valued, you are loved, because that's what Jesus did. And I am always inspired. The other day we had this children that they came with their mom, and they were teaching me because we were talking about one of the lessons on parenting. And one of the children, she's only 5, and she interrupted me and she said, I heard a story when the children came to Jesus and he said, let the children come to me. And he welcomed them. And I was almost crying because it touched me so much. I'm like, yes, you're right. And, we are intentional about receiving our families with their children, and they're listening. Those children, when they sit down in a room with their parents, and the parents are listening to a class, the children are paying attention, because that girl came to me with that comment because she heard something on the video that they were watching. So it is beautiful how planting those seeds, we don't know, but God knows.
That's right.
The eternal impact that is going to have.
Yeah. We say shaping futures a lot around BFR as part of our, tagline. And that right there speaks to that. And we do that every day in our center. We, we're not just thinking about this one life. We're thinking about the whole family, and we're thinking about futures to come. And absolutely. That, inspires and is in the fabric of what we do.
So, Arleen, I can only imagine that there have probably been many impactful scenarios that you've encountered in your role. Can you talk to me a little bit about, I don't know if there's maybe been one in particular, a particular situation or scenario that has impacted you, maybe something that a client that you had that you especially remember because of how it impacted you? Because I know that you see a lot of just hard scenarios. I mean, you mentioned the client that came in full of joy, but that's not always the case when clients walk through our doors. There's a lot of brokenness that walks in that door, women and men carrying a heaviness and a lot of burdens. A lot of them are struggling with a variety of things. And so can you just talk to me a little bit about that and what you get to do and how you've shared a lot about how you minister to your clients and what a joy that is for you, but just anything else that you want to share about how a certain situation has impacted you in your role, or what it's like with clients coming in with just a lot of burdens and heavy hearts.
Yes, definitely the joyful stories are my favorites, right?
Right, all of
Right.
ours. Yeah.
For all of us. But walking alongside a person that feels that they don't have hope, even almost having their baby, like they are on their last trimester, they are right there, almost on the finish line, and they feel hopeless. They don't have a plan. They have other children, but they don't have a person that stay with them while they are at the hospital.
Mm.
Sometimes I feel that I want to adopt them into my own family because you want to be there for them. You know what I mean? Like you want to do more than say a prayer. You want to be practical and you want to think through the situation with the client. So for me, I feel that those cases are really hard for me when I'm speechless,
Mm.
when I don't know how to tell a mom, my husband is working at another state and I'm going to have my baby, but I don't know who's going to take care of my 4-year-old while I'm at the hospital.
Mm.
And I don't know what to say.
Mm.
And I start just praying inside of me and saying, Lord, I see in the Bible that it says that we can come to you asking you for wisdom and direction. Would you please give me wisdom and direction right now? And it have made me more dependable on God
Mm.
because when I do not have the answers, when I have no idea what to say, I have to call onto him because he is the only one that sees the big picture. He's the only one that sees everything. And he's the one that is going to provide for that family. And I have seen time after time after time his faithfulness and how he answered those prayers. And sometimes I have to admit and tell a client, I say, you know what? Do you allow me to stop right now and pray for that situation? And we pray. And then after the prayer, I say, okay, so let's see. You don't have a plan. Who do you know? And then we start thinking, oh, well, I remember this neighbor. She's very nice. And, you know, all of a sudden, we started the meeting with a person that don't know anybody. And all of a sudden, she leave my office with 4 people that she could probably leave the older kids with, you know? And it's God. Because at the beginning of our meeting, we didn't have any person. You know what I mean? So that is impactful for me that not only I'm teaching them to depend on God for everything, but I'm learning to depend on God and look for him for my answers. And I tell him all the time at home, I say, Lord, you're not only a BFR, you are here at home.
Right.
You're here everywhere that I go. You are here with me. Because I feel that BFR have a direct line with heaven. Yes. Like we
It
pray
does feel
for
like that, it
things.
does.
We pray
Yeah.
for things. Like the other day, I told a person that was volunteering at the sorting room, and I say, "Oh, we need new mom bags because we give new mom bags to the moms when they're about to have their babies, so they're ready for the hospital." And our community partners are the ones that give those bags to us. And I was like, we are out of new mom bags. We need to call some of our community partners, but it was a Thursday and Thursday is our last day. So I say, let me put on my list for Monday. I can tell you 30 minutes didn't pass that a lady called and I answered the phone and the lady say, are you still open? I say, yes. And she's like, I am about to stop by with a donation for new moms.
Oh,
Wow.
And guess what? It was the exact number of babies that we were having
Wow.
that they were going to be born on that month.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And
Wow.
God provided.
Mhm.
And I have seen that happening time after time after time. So it is impactful for me to see God at work and turning hearts around. Like you see sometimes dads that they are so quiet and just looking down and they don't interact. And then there is a question that God put in my heart, or I make a question, and all of a sudden they wake up and they start talking, and it's amazing. I have mentors that have say, I have never seen that person smile before.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
So-
it just speaks to, I think, so much of, when somebody is who doesn't know God, has never been exposed to him, maybe, or maybe it's been a long time, or they're just in such a desperate situation. I mean, I think we've all been in those places,
Yes.
right? And maybe somebody listening is in that place right now, but like, we can be so just no hope, hopeless, and feel no love. And then the people of God, because that's what we are at BFR, is we are the people of God, serving and being his hands and feet, but the people of God sharing his light and his love and his mercy pierces those places. And I think we see that over and over and over again, where people come in and you just see it on their face. And then something starts to shift and something starts to change. And then it might be weeks later. It may not even be in that one, but sometimes it is in that first appointment or in that second appointment. And you just see it, and God just changing their heart. And sorry, I'm starting to cry. It's making me emotional.
I was going to ask, are you crying, or are those your allergies, Sarah?
It might be a little of both, but man, I mean, it's just so powerful. And that's, again, one of the things that I love so much about BFR and what we do is it's that right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's us bringing God's light into these dark places.
So good. There's so much I want to rewind, but I know for the sake of time we can't. But I know someone was encouraged by your words just now about leaning on the Lord, because we often try to do everything on our own. And I'll just tell you that ministers a lot to me, just personally too, Arleen. You talk like BFR is not the only place where God hears us.
Right.
Although it does feel like he does have that direct line there sometimes. But remembering in all the places that we do life, that we are called to not do this on our own, that we are called to lean on him and his strength. And you do that so beautifully well. Just a little side funny note. I share a lot of stories about you at home with my girls, and I always say, I try. I really, really try. I wish that I could do a really good impression, but I do try. I'm laughing at myself thinking about what I must look like trying to tell some of the stories you have told me. I really do want to be you when I grow up, Arleen. But they always say they've come to learn your favorite person at BFR. Is that who you're talking about, Mom?
I feel some type of way that it's not me. No,
I'm sorry, Sarah. I do love you. I do. I love everyone at BFR. But Arleen, I couldn't say enough about you. You're just such a joy. But something that you said kind of brings me to one of our last points, that we want in every episode to kind of give a call to action to the community. Whatever that God may be prompting you to do, it may not even be something at BFR. You may be listening to this, but God's spurring you and stirring in you in some way to do something, because we're all called to go out, right, and live for the glory of God and point to his kingdom. But you mentioned the new mom bags that we give to our moms. I love this so much. I mean, I was very, very blessed having family. My husband and I both have family in this community. And so when we were pregnant with our first child, we were exceedingly blessed by people that poured into things that we needed. And we really didn't have to provide anything ourselves, because we were blessed with gifts. And so I love that BFR, and this is only possible because of these community partners that you've said, these are people that don't volunteer on a weekly basis, but just take the time like, oh, I can't come every week, but I could do that. I could put a new
Yes.
mom bag together. We have a student that's coming in this week that's messaging me and saying, I'm bringing in 50 new mom bags.
Wow.
Yes,
Oh,
unbelievable,
wow.
right? She's just gone out and this is a student, you know,
Mhm.
if a 17-year-old can go and
Yeah.
do this, you know, what are we all doing? But
Yeah.
I want to tie that into just kind of a call to action, and because we want this podcast to be a source of hope, encouragement, but then also just action steps of how you can make a difference in our community. And I just want to highlight that a little bit because that's something that some person is doing. They're just, I know that we've had sweet women make handmade blankets before that go
Yes.
in these new
We
mom
still have
bags.
those.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, it's
yes.
just, and if those individuals happen to be listening, thank you. I just want to
Yes,
say thank you because
absolutely.
you are taking the time to really bless a woman, a new mom that may not receive anything else, but she's getting this new bag and it's full of love.
And we have a one of our partners. She is a sweet grandma, and she brings a blanket, but not only a blanket for the baby. She said that the moms also get cold at the hospital. So she brings 2 blankets and a Bible and a note and wrap it in love and with a bag and bring it to us in different colors. It's so beautiful and so touching. And I have moms that have sent messages to us like saying, what a beautiful note. Even the notes, the moms appreciate. The notes of encouragement. You're doing a good job. Mama, don't give up. You know what I mean? Like those things, they are valued by the moms, and it's so beautiful. And another thing that our listeners can do for us is pray. Pray for us. Prayer is like the air that our lungs need, because we cannot do what we do without God.
That's right.
We cannot do this without His protection, because we are doing His work. The enemy doesn't want that. And the enemy is out and about to kill and destroy and to tear down and to bring discouragement and to bring things. And we need prayer warriors to pray for us. That's one way that our listeners can get involved in the cause. But another thing, and I'm going to be a little selfish here, I'm going to speak on behalf of the Spanish community. We need bilingual mentors. We need people that commit at least 2 or 3 hours a week to come every week and serve our families. We serve almost 60 families at BFR that speak Spanish only. And we have a waiting list of 14 families that cannot be added to the program because we don't have people to serve them one-on-one. And that is huge.
Yeah.
So we need bilingual people to pray, but not to pray too long. And get involved. Go to our website and go to the link that it says, how can I get involved? And you say, I want to be a bilingual mentor, and start over there, because there is a huge need for bilingual mentors that are fully committed to the cause.
And our other clients receive that one-on-one appointment, and our Spanish speaking community are not. They participate in group classes because of the shortage that we have.
Yes.
So it's really a service that we want to be able to offer them as well. So thank you for sharing and speaking into that.
Again, we're all about that intentional relationship.
Yes.
And you can get intentional in a group, but there is something about being able to have that person sit one-on-one with you and share your language, or a language that you can understand.
Yes, exactly. And there are things that they love to share in groups, and they feel that they are part of a community, but they are prayer requests or situations that they cannot discuss on a group setting. and it's better to have one-on-one. But if we do not have a mentor to sit with them, then sadly we cannot serve in that capacity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's very hard.
Well, you heard it straight from the person's mouth who's leading this group of what the need
Your call
is.
to action.
Your call to action. So, and maybe you listening, you don't speak Spanish, but you might know somebody who does. So we really encourage you to share that and share that need in your circles. Because as Kim shared so beautifully a couple weeks ago of who's in your sphere of influence,
Yes.
and start there. What's in your hands right now? And yeah. So it can be as simple as that.
Yeah, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody. You might have a neighbor that is bilingual or a coworker that can come and be with us. And believe me, when you come to the club, you stay.
That's right.
We call it the club
Yes.
because we love to be a BFR.
That's right.
You know, it's hard to leave.
That's right.
We love to be there.
Well, it's also hard to leave this conversation.
It is.
I think we could talk for a long time, but unfortunately, we do have to wrap up. But we so appreciate you being here, Arleen, and sharing your heart and what you do. And I'm giving us more insight into our program and our clients. And